We are now queen of the Northern Undead Asylum. Alright, so there's a few things to do here. Some are really obnoxious, some are a lot of fun. So here, my Boulder Side Sword, I'm actually going to take advantage of the reach on it with the thrusting attacks. Another thing to be mindful of, I was watching somebody else play this game, and they were a brand new player, which was really fascinating to watch. But, something that they were doing, they were playing with a weapon. I forget what weapon it is. It might have been the ball. Oh, it was the katana. The, Uchi Katana. You can kill a vendor in the game to get the Uchi Katana. There's certain weapons where your R1 is a slashing attack and your R2 is a thrust attack. Make sure to know the difference and what times those are more powerful than one another. Because I was watching him play, in a lot of boss fights, he was missing out on some heavy damage, and he was only striking once, and a thrusting attack would have been a much, in my opinion, and it's something so minute, too. It's not really, I don't know if I should really be mentioning it, but be mindful. If you're only going to go in for one strike, sometimes your thrusting attack is probably going to be better. However, a wide sweeping attack like this is pretty much a guaranteed hit. There's something to do over there, but we're actually going to wait off on that for a moment. Because, good job, go straight ahead. So over there we have a hollow, and over there we have a hollow. So we are going to take out these hollows first. Oh, I went for the no-look parry. I've gotten so bad with parries, too. That's another terrible thing. Alright, well, I guess we're going to follow our normal path that we did when... Oh my gosh! Alright, so what I like to do... Sorry. This boss here, you can honestly do him however you want, but as long as you roll off to the side real fast when you drop down... if you're a heavy build, don't worry about rolling, just run over here. He won't instantly aggro you. So here we're going to do a few things. Number one, we're going to switch over to a bleeding weapon. There's not many bosses in this game that can be bled, but here we have our bleed effect. So we want to switch over to a bleeding weapon. The Bandit's Knife is probably your best weapon, and can be easily farmed right before the Capra Demon. Off of those... what do I have here? I have great heavy soul arrow. Why would I bring that? It's a terrible idea. And I have my pyromancy flame with no pyromancies. So here we get plenty of chance to heal. As you can see, he hasn't aggroed yet. He will aggro when he sees you, but if you get over here quick enough, this is my little safety zone that I would encourage. So we're going to switch over to a bleeding weapon. This is a boss I would not recommend blocking against, so we're actually going to put our shield on our back. Third key point, I recommend, even if you're on a heavy build, take off your armor. Even fight this enemy nude, if you have to. But this enemy can be very powerful if you try to fight him face to face. Just looking at the size of him, he's huge. And that weapon is nothing to laugh at. So what we're going to do is we're going to just run straight at him. And we're going to get behind him. Here's where your rolling is going to become such a huge mechanic. Now, with most bosses, what I would encourage you to do is learn their moveset first before attacking. Or learn as much as you can. So there we can see that he can stab his staff into the ground for a big explosion. There you can't see it, but what he's doing is he's putting out his one hand and firing out like a giant blast. And as you can see, that takes up much of the room. So here you can see 43 damage, not that impressive. A lot of players will tell you not to lock on to him. I lock on just because I like to secure hits. And personal preference, I go after his right leg. This is up to you guys on how comfortable you are. But basically, every time you see him move, you want to get behind his butt. And that is his giant weak point. Which is kind of a weak point on most Souls enemies and Souls bosses. But notice, like, the moment I saw him moving, just get behind him. And that explosion does touch his body. So you want to make sure that you are nowhere near him, or it, whichever you. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. That you're nowhere near him, and that blast will one-shot us at the moment. So I'm getting really lucky here. Not only is he stuck in a loop, but he's just doing the same thing over and over again. One of the things that I like about Dark Knight Kirk's sword is the fact that when you press R2 with it, you take a step forward. This can be a bad thing if you're not familiar with the moveset of it or how much stamina it's going to take up. But it generally takes up enough stamina for you to still roll afterwards. Oh, that was bad. When he does that butt slam, you can be damaged by touching him, even after he's landed. I'll hopefully try to show that off if he is kind enough to do it again. Here we go. So now I'm going to try to run... Oh, I didn't run into his weapon. But there you see the big bleed effect, and even though it says only 86 damage, I actually did tick him for 300 life. So 129 plus 300. But this is where a bleed weapon in the game will be one of your best friends ever. Oh, I ran out of stamina. Oh, there we go. Ran into him. Oh, that didn't finish you off. I'm afraid to attack you. I really wanted that to finish you off. Charging attack? Ugh. I don't know how I got through him like that. That was actually quite luck. Because he's not as low as I would like him to be. Cut his belly. But that is the Straight. He can easily be one of the most difficult bosses in the game. Especially for new players, because the game hasn't done an amazing job. Same thing with like Gaping Dragon. There we get a Titanite slab. Those are extremely rare, and this is the one guaranteed way to get it. So that's the other big thing. And then if you're looking to get out of here, there's a torch just over yonder. Good little cue, because if you look around the room, not a whole lot of torches. So that's how you know where to go. The game has not done an amazing job of telling you to always attack your opponents from the back, especially bosses. A lot of bosses, like, yes, you have an advantage attacking them from behind, but it's not necessarily always a safe place either. This is one of those few bosses, too, that is actually weak to the bleed effect. I'm sorry, I don't believe in legitimately fighting this guy. I know a lot of people get bored watching parries, but this is also a great case to showcase a big, slow weapon, easy to parry, just wait it out. I really like Vegeta 311. I know I've mentioned him before, but his guide on parry... Shit. That was so sloppy. That was so sloppy. Out of practice. Oh well. Vegeta 311, I really like... Oh my gosh, I'm going to be all the way back at Firelink. Possibly Andre. Not happy about this. Crestfallen? This is all your fault. All your fault. Could be Petrus's fault, actually. I should probably blame Petrus out of all the people to blame. What was I going to say? Vegeta 311 did a parry video, and he recommended watching their hand. And one of the things I really like about this as well is that he makes the comment, if you're close enough to parry their hand, you're close enough to parry anything. Because I know some people will try to parry things, and if they're using a spear, they want to be as far away as possible. And although that's a smart playstyle for a spear user, it can also get you in trouble if you're trying to parry. So, with that being said... and there was a prime example as well. I got killed after trying to parry. That's a prime example of why things can go bad from trying to parry. I was watching Dino Riding Jesus play this game, and he even mentioned, he's just like, I don't like the amount of risk that you put into parrying and the amount of reward that you get from it. And I understand that, like, you know, if they buffed it to be a one-shot, like, you know, if you parried and riposted, if it was just an instant kill, it would be way too powerful. I do agree with that. But But the amount of risk that you do put yourself at for it, I do agree that I would like it a little bit stronger, and I'm like 300% is more than enough, and that's not actually what it is. That's just what I consider it to be. 300% is a lot of damage, and it's more based towards your dex-based characters, where a lot of dex weapons are piercing weapons, or thrusting weapons, I should say. We're actually going to go to the long way to recover our body as a little form of punishment since I messed that up. You can easily fall through the floor again, but he will not have respawned. And you can actually kind of tell from the cracks in the floor where it's going to fall. So, if you're ever curious about that, that's how you know where it falls. So here we're going to activate this bonfire again. That